While Skelly here enjoys his fruit bar, I'm going to go ahead and check out the video 25 Reasons You Shouldn't Have Children.
While some people dream of starting a family, others dread the idea of becoming a parent. And that's okay. Creating a family isn't for everyone. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 reasons you shouldn't have children. You'll have to cook every day. Other than breakfast, lunch, and dinner, there is the necessity to put together snacks in between. You can only imagine how exhausting cooking can be after a long day of looking after the kids.
For the most part, I actually do enjoy cooking, but yeah, 3 meals a day plus snacks, that's a lot. Although I will say, when I was a kid, our snack was like a banana, an orange, or an apple. That's what we got for snacks, so there wasn't really any prep work there. That's why cereal was created, so you don't have to cook at least 1 meal of the day. Plus, I really enjoy those evenings where I just have chips and salsa and that's my dinner. Welcome to Wife Without Kids, I'm Hannah. This channel is all about building a positive community to support you in your choice to live the child-free life.
24. To give yourself meaning. There's a lot of pressure put on women to have children. Some people say that being a mother is the greatest role a woman could have, while others consider that to be an outdated theory.
Yeah, that's a little bit subjective. That's a great idea in theory if you actually want to be a parent, but if you don't want to be a parent, that's not going to work out for you too well. Plus, there's so much more to life than just having children. There's a lot of other ways that you can have a meaningful life. 23. If you're curious what they'll look like. If you're thinking of having a baby just because you're curious about what they'll look like, you might want to hold off. Luckily, there are a few other not-so-permanent options. Instead of having a baby, you could just play baby maker. All you have to do is upload a picture of you and your partner to see what your baby would look like. That's exactly why Baby Maker exists. You can just look at your own baby pictures and use your imagination of what your kid might look like. 22. No more spontaneous traveling. When you have children, you can't just hop on a plane because you feel like going on a quick getaway. Not gonna lie, but last year sort of took away spontaneous traveling as well. I'm not bitter. Maybe a little. 21. Fear of regret. As crazy as it may seem, there are people who've had children because they were worried they might regret not having children. FOMO, or fear of missing out, doesn't only pertain to social media, but to couples without children as well. Being a parent may seem like a fun, joyous time, but it can also be very stressful and difficult. This is probably one of the worst reasons anybody could ever have a kid. You have no clue what you're going to be thinking in the future. If you don't want a kid right now, you're probably going to feel very similar in 20 years from now. And if you don't, you're going to work through the regret. Because we've all made choices in life that we regretted. I don't think we should ever make a decision based on something that we might regret in the future. Especially if you're in a place right now where you absolutely do not want kids. My thought is you should have a baby because you really want to have a baby, not because you're afraid you're going to miss out. Being a parent is pretty hard work. My sisters have told me many times. 20. To please your parents. I'm laughing because when people message me and say like, oh my goodness, I feel so much pressure to have a baby because my parents tell me I should. Oh yes, all the pressure from other people. Here's a thought, who's going to be raising the child? Your parents or you? Most likely you will be raising the child. And if you don't want a baby, it doesn't really matter what other people are telling you. You shouldn't have it if you don't want to be the parent. 19. You're responsible for them. Just thinking about being responsible for another life can be overwhelming. They're a lot of work. I mean, yeah, there's good things that come from them, but they're a lot of work, and some of us are just not cut out for that duty. 18. You'll have to socialize with other parents. Having to carry on a conversation with someone you really don't want to talk to can be extremely exhausting. So maybe that's a benefit of being child-free. You aren't friends with people because you have kids and you sort of have to be because your kids like their kids. You're just friends with people because you have common interests and you genuinely enjoy each other's company. 17. If you're looking for a constant companion. I'm thinking if you want a constant companion, you could always get a pet. Dogs, cats, gerbils, rabbits, snake, goldfish. We once had a goldfish. It was going through a rough time. It was constantly jumping out of its goldfish bowl. It did not end well. 16. Ruins your sex life. New parents have 1,000,001 things to do, and most of the time, intimacy is at the bottom of the list. That could be one of the reasons, other than vaginal pain, why doctors tell new mothers to wait at least 3 months before having sex after giving birth. An estimated 85% of women only start having sex because they're concerned about their partner's sexual needs rather than their own. 15. Lack of a steady income. You may want to reconsider having children if you don't have a steady income. That's because kids are extremely expensive, and you're going to need every penny to help raise them. I feel like that goes without saying. If you can't provide financially for your child, yeah, you probably shouldn't have one. I feel like this is pretty straightforward stuff.
14.
Causes stress. Stress can affect anyone who feels even slightly overwhelmed. For parents, their children are the sole cause of the majority of the tension in their lives.
Stress does crop up in many situations, whether or not you have kids. But yeah, eliminating stress in life, that's not a bad thing. I think I've caused my mom a little bit of stress at some points in my life. Now, I don't think I was like a really bad kid or anything, but you're a kid, you're gonna cause your parents stress. So yeah, if I can forego that extra stress, I'm kind of okay with that. Of course, if you want kids, then it's probably worth it to you to deal with the extra stress that comes along with having kids.
13.
Kids can be mean. Let's face
Yes.
it, kids can be jerks.
Kids can be so mean. There were some very mean girls in my school. They were mean to me and mean to other people. Obviously, that's because they weren't happy with who they were on the inside, but still, it's not nice to be picked on, no matter what age you are. They're mean adults too.
12.
Messing up your sleep schedule.
What if you're already an insomniac? Would it make the transition easier? Not that I'm interested in having kids, I'm just curious.
11.
Children equal messes. Get ready for your child to be extremely messy from the moment they're born on into their teenage years.
I think this actually depends a lot on who your parents are and what your parents expect of you when you're a kid. When I was a kid, at an appropriate age, I learned to clean up my own toys, make my own bed, keep my room tidy, and help with chores around the house. I know there is this new approach where parents feel that kids shouldn't have to do chores, they should just play and enjoy life. But at some point you're going to grow up into an adult, and if you've never done a load of laundry or baked a tray of cookies or cleaned a bathroom, you're going to find the transition into adulthood pretty difficult if you don't know how to do basic care and keep your home tidy.
10.
You'll have to relive high school. Take a moment to recall all those cringeworthy high school moments.
Every time I drive by a high school, I am so thankful that my school days are over and I never have to go back.
9.
Doubles your student loans. It could take more than 20 years to pay off your student loans, depending on where you went to college and how much your tuition was.
Yeah, I'm not reliving that. I've been there and done that. I'm definitely over the student loans and will never get another student loan in my entire life. They served a purpose while I was getting an education, but yeah, no thank you.
8.
Changes your body. A woman's body goes through a drastic change during her 9 months of pregnancy. Other than gaining anywhere from 25 to 35 pounds, women also have reported changes in their shoe size, breasts, and legs. Even after birth, women still experience their bodies altering. For example, women who give birth are more likely to suffer from saggy breasts, enlarged gums, stretch marks, and tooth loss.
Speaking on behalf of most females out there, I think we have a hard enough time accepting our bodies as is, and when they go through changes, that makes the process even more challenging.
7.
Interrupts your social life. If one of your close friends has recently had a baby, then you know all too well how a child can interrupt a person's social life.
I feel like I don't really need that much social interaction to keep me going. That's probably the extreme introvert inside of me that is saying that, but I have my husband and my family and a few close friends, and I could probably do with like 1 or 2 social interactions per month, and that would be plenty for me.
6.
Your life will never be yours again. From the second you find out you and your partner are pregnant, you instantly start sharing your life with your child.
That would be pretty challenging because it's been Michael and I for so many years, and life is really flexible and it's just the two of us and we kind of know what each other likes and we vibe off that really easily.
5.
Marriages suffer. If you think your marriage is rock solid, just wait until you bring a child into the world. Adding another element into the relationship can be disastrous.
One of my Instagram followers actually just sent me an article about how marriages change once you have a baby. Obviously, it was a parent that wrote it, sent it to her, and then she sent it to me. And reading through that article, yeah, it sounded pretty rough. I love spending time with Michael. He is my absolute best friend. And I can't imagine any of that changing, and I don't want it to change. I love my life with him. Obviously, it's going to be different for every couple, but that's not something that I would look forward to experiencing at all.
4.
It can be dangerous. We've all heard those stories that make childbirth sound like something out of a horror film.
Some of my friends and family have gone through really traumatic pregnancies and birth stories, and yeah, those things can be pretty scary.
3.
Career. The majority of students are eager to start their careers immediately after graduating from college. That's because they dedicated a lot of time, money, and hard work to accomplishing their goal.
And And because your student loan starts going into repayment status, and if you don't want to pay it until you're like 50, yeah, you better get on that. If your career is put on hold and you're back on one income, that could make that process pretty tricky and challenging.
2,
It's expensive. Children come with a whole new level of expenses that most parents don't even realize.
When one of my friends had a baby shower for her newborn, diapers were on the gift list, and so I decided, all right, I'll buy some diapers. I went to Costco because apparently they have the best price on diapers, and I was shocked at how expensive diapers were. And then when she told me how long the diapers would last, I was shocked again.
1,
Overpopulation. Let's face it, the planet is severely suffering from the vast amount of waste humans have created. Scientists believe that humans are 100% responsible for modern global warming, and the majority of it is due to burning fossil fuels. More and more people are deciding to not have children to help reduce their carbon footprint.
That's true. There are a lot of people in the world, and there are some places that are even more overpopulated than others. It's not just the volume of people in the world, it's also the stuff that we choose to consume, and let's be honest, humans can be pretty wasteful. Now, while these are some reasons that people might not have kids, I don't have kids because I simply don't want them. And if you want to find out why I don't want kids, go ahead and check out this video right here.